The Grand Bazaar, Playtest 1. You are a squire for hire, working for a knight to get a magically infused sword. As required payment for the artificer who will produce this item, the knight has given you 1 bag of money for artificer. Now it is up to you to go to this artificer, find him, and acquire the item. In this case, you arrive at the artificer's place in the 14th market row. What will you do now? I will proceed to the artificer and talk to them. The artificer looks at you. She clearly looks like she's from the Rakminud Empire. Her magics would be far from legal there, but here in the Grand Bazaar, she and people like her are clearly free to do so. The artificer looks at you with a great smile, and she says, "Welcome to my humble shop. What would you like to see? What would you like to buy?" I continue to talk to her. "Oh, that's interesting. So you would like to have a magically infused sword? Well, I can give you the magic, but I can't give you the sword. I can, however, recommend you to go to the blacksmith down this very road. And if you pay me the money now, I can certainly give you the money you need to get the sword from the blacksmith." I accept and give the artificer her money. Then the artificer looks back and smiles widely. "Thank you. Now all you have to do is follow the road down to the blacksmith and pay him this money." The artificer furnishes you with a bag of money for the blacksmith. Now I decide to move down the road, and I stop at the store with a giant orange on top of it. I talk to the orange vendor. "Hello, sir. Welcome to my vendor. Welcome to my shop. Would you like some oranges? They're fresh and juicy." I simply ignore the vendor and continue to walk on. I look at the barrel. The barrel looks like it could be opened. The lid on top of it seems to be sitting askew. I open the lid and I look inside. You find 1 fresh apple and 1/2 a piece of a riddle. Interesting. I then move on to the nearby chest and I look at it. The chest looks a lot more advanced than any kind of chest you've ever seen. It looks like it has a lid and it has several dials to move around with letters on it, but you can't seem to form any clear words. You look down further below and you see a label, as well as an image that looks like it has coins on it. I attempt to tinker with the chest, but you attempt to tinker with the chest, but this does not produce any results. I continue to move on to the blacksmith. I look at the blacksmith and I talk to the blacksmith. "Oh, hello. Welcome to our blacksmith store. What would you need?" "I am looking for a sword, please, that I'm hoping to get magically infused at the artificer's place." He says, "For that kind of sword you would need a very special type of sword, one made of white metal. Now I can furnish you with that if you can provide me the money for it." I give the bag of money for the blacksmith to the blacksmith. "Perfect. This is everything I need." The blacksmith goes inside and then looks around and suddenly realizes that he's missing something. He immediately looks back at you and says, "Oh no, there's an issue. I don't have the white metal that I need for this sword. Could you do me a favor and possibly look around just for, this particular sword or this particular piece of metal that I can make the sword with?" I, the player, look at the blacksmith and then turn around and decide to explore further. I decide to go all the way back to the orange shop and I look at the orange vendor. I examine the vendor's stall and I notice, as you examine the stall, you notice that there is a little sheet of paper in among the oranges. You look at the vendor, and the vendor looks back at you, and he says, "Oh, this piece of paper? What interests you about it?" And then you pick it up, and he stops you before you pick it up. "Wait, no, you can't take that paper just like that. That is my item." I look at the vendor, and then I say, you look at the vendor and then you say, "I can trade you something for it." And he says, "Do you have any items of value that you can trade me for it?" And I decide to give him the one red apple. "Oh, this apple, the great Vedatai apple, that is so rare. This is perfect. I can make a fortune out of it." He rushes off in the distance, leaving you with a piece of paper and all of his oranges. You take the piece of paper, which turns out to be the top half of the riddle. I decide to solve the riddle, and the answer is sun. Combining these riddle pieces and answering it gives you the solved code. Now I go back to the chest and I insert the solved code. This gives you one white plate steel. This is perfect. I go back to the blacksmith and I give this white plate steel to him. The blacksmith looks back at you and he says, "That's perfect. This is exactly what I need." And he goes to work and furnishes you a fully made white plate sword. This is perfect for me. I go back all the way to the artificer and I give them the white plate sword. The artificer looks at you warmly and she says, "Thank you. This is exactly what I needed." And she fuses it with her magic powers and gives you one magical infused sword. I go back to the exit and leave the area.